Hey everyone, this is Jessica. We are now on, well, I should say I'm on day 8 of my water fast. And I use the word water fast a little bit loosely. I'm having black tea, black coffee, electrolytes, and with my electrolytes, I put a quarter of a stock cube, which obviously has salts and a little bit of fat in it, but we're talking, sort of um, maybe in total somewhere around 15, 20 calories a day. So it's virtually calorie less. Um, yeah, so day 8, one of the things that I love about fasting is you reach this point where you've got all this energy, you can think fast, you can see clearly, like your vision actually gets clearer. You can remember things. It's what I would call a fasting euphoria. So I've hit that zone. It's a beautiful place to be. I am a little bit cold, so I notice I have to bundle up and stay warm and stuff. But it's no big deal. Have a warm drink, put a sweater on, put a cozy thing on, and it's all good. So yeah, so that's me. I've hit the fasting euphoria. Um, which is just so great. I am, missing food a little bit, but not hungry. Not hungry. I'm totally fine. And I was thinking this morning about the people who I've talked to about fasting who have said things like, yeah, but isn't fasting dangerous? You know, I had one friend that was like, how do you know that you're not going to like die from it? And um, the truth is there are dangers associated with fasting, and I want everybody who's watching this channel, who's watching these videos, to understand that although I'm having a really great experience, that's because I believe I've done a lot of research about it. I've learned how to do it. I've learned how it works really well, and I've learned how to go into, sustain myself during and come out of a one of these water fasts without, serious health problems, without suffering, without serious hunger. So I was thinking about it this morning that people have talked to me about this and said, yeah, but, you know, is it safe? And, you know, all of this, because we've grown up in our culture. I certainly have, and I'm early 40s, growing up thinking that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You've probably heard that before. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You know where that started? That started from breakfast cereal companies because they wanted to sell their cereal. So they started to put out advertisements that said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And somehow it became something that we all just believed. But the truth is, you don't have to eat breakfast. In fact, you don't have to eat all that often at all. You do have to eat at some point, and you can't indefinitely fast. But the truth is, you can fast for a really long time. Like even somebody who isn't significantly overweight like me, like without health consequences for, I think I heard one doctor say 45 days was the upper limit or something, and I was like, what? So this is a person who's not considered overweight. So it's a myth that we have to eat constantly. It's something that we believe. The refrigerator was invented, and suddenly we have food whenever we want. We have things that are packaged and things that are, wrapped and in our cupboards, and so it's got preservatives and all kinds of stuff, so we can eat food constantly if we want to. And we need to be eating every 2, 3, 4 hours. So a lot of people, they'll get up in the morning, they'll have breakfast as soon as they get up. They will have some sort of a snack or biscuit or something at 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock at work, and then they'll have lunch at 12:30 to 1. They'll have another biscuit or some sort of snack or something in the afternoon. They'll get home, they'll have dinner, and then they'll have some sort of an evening snack. That's 6 meals. Like that's eating 6 times. And the problem with that is when you're eating that way, your insulin levels, which is the hormone, by the way, that makes you store fat, in case you didn't know. That's the whole job of insulin, to take the sugar out of your blood and store it as fat. That's what insulin does. So basically, every time you eat, your I think it's your pancreas secretes insulin, and so your blood gets filled with insulin to grab onto all that sugar and lock it away in cold storage in your body fat, and for a rainy day. But the problem is we don't have any rainy days anymore. We're all eating all day every day, and so this whole idea of going without for any period of time, is like unbelievable. Breakfast is called that because you're breaking your fast to eat. Break fast, breakfast. That's where the word comes from. So, you go to bed, you sleep all night for 8 hours and you don't eat, and then you're fine, right? So it's the same. Your body during the night dips into that calorie reserve while you're sleeping. It's the same thing. So getting back to what I'm doing, which is a prolonged water fast, and how do I know that it's safe, and, are there dangers? And yes, there are dangers. So there are dangers, especially in what's called the refeeding process. So when you start eating again, your appetite after a water fast gets like insane. So you have to be careful what you eat, and you don't want to eat any carbs at the beginning, and you want to slowly introduce those back in, because what's going to happen is your blood sugar, which has gone way down during a fast and stayed down, will skyrocket if you eat a whole bunch of carbs, and then your insulin, will go crazy, and then so that's how people can have like fainting spells or even go into a coma after they eat like donuts or something to break their fast. That's where the dangers come in. So that's one of the most dangerous to do. The other really dangerous thing to do is to not drink enough water. So you need to be careful to stay really hydrated, because fasting is a detoxing process, and your body is getting rid of all sorts of toxins that are in your body. Things that are like toxins that are stored in your fat are also being released because your fat's being burned, right? So toxins that have been stored for a long time in your system, they're getting all released, and we need lots of hydration to flush that out. So that's the other thing. So getting back to this, is the fasting dangerous? The thought I had this morning is, so is driving, right? So driving a car can be really dangerous. You can kill yourself driving a car. Lots of people do. They can even kill other people. But you could kill yourself driving a car. If you got behind the wheel of a car, knowing nothing about it, and you put your foot down on the pedal that's to the right, and you just drove without touching that big wheel in front of you, you would crash into something at some point, eventually, and potentially kill yourself. So that's not what you want to do. But that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. It just means that you have to learn how to do it, right? So in a similar way, fasting is worth doing. There's tons of health benefits, and there's lots of ways to do it without endangering yourself. There's lots of ways to do it so that it doesn't make you suffer. You're not really cranky and all that, you have energy for work and all the things that people worry about. But you have to do that little bit of research. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this is just to share my experience, if it's helpful to anybody, and hopefully just answer any questions that you have. So what I would really love is if you could, in the comments, just write any questions that you might have about fasting that I could talk about, stuff that I've discovered, and or maybe point you to a source where you can find it out. But also, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, because I'm just trying to build up the audience a little bit, and that would really help me out. So thanks very much, everyone. Have a good night. Well, I don't know if it's night when you're watching this, but it's night for me. Bye, everyone.